Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to make Asooke filler that you can see on your screen. And what we'll be needing for it is your Asooke chalk, scissors, a tape roll, and something to roll. If you have the French curve, you can use it, or if you have a roller, you can use that as well. Now we'll be marking a diagonal line of 9 inch, and I started from 1 inch. That is why you see me marking it at 10 inches. So from 1 inch to 10 inches is still 9 inches. So I'm going to roll the straight line. So after rolling the diagonal line, the next thing you want to do is you want to mark out an horizontal line, and the width of this would be 13 inches. 13 inches at the top and 13 inches at the bottom. Then we are going to connect those lines. It's going to form another diagonal line, which you'll be seeing soon on your screen. So we'll be repeating this process 2 more times because we will need 3 of it. So this is just me marking out another 13 inches to form another diagonal line. Later on, I had to reduce it to 12.5, which I will be showing you later in the video. I had to reduce it to 12.5 inches. So this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. Like I said, we will need 3 of it. Yeah, I already marked out half inch. I said by reducing it to 12.5. So I marked out half inch and I wrote the new line, and I am just going to cut it out. So after cutting one of them out, I'm going to just place it on the other one to cut out the rest. And so we're cutting these 3 out. This is 1, 2, and 3. So to join them, you can either place them on each other like you see me do in the video. You can either place them on each other the normal way with sogeli. You can place them on each other, or you can just place them on each other right side facing right side and sew it by 1/4 of an inch or thereabout. So you sew that part, then you fold it open, then iron it flat, then take the third part, also fold it right side facing right side and sew it in by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm done sewing. I just use the normal Asooke method. I place them on each other and I sewed it down. And now we want to close the ends. Just place them like you see me do. Just place them on each other. If you use the folding method to sew, you can just as well fold it and sew it, or you just place them on each other and sew it in by 1/4 of an inch. And I suggest you use the same method. Don't change method, please. So I've gone ahead to sew it off camera, and I'm just turning it inside out. After turning it inside out, we want to cut it out. We want to open it up vertically. We want a straight cut this time around, and it's measured 9 inch by 13 inches, but the 13 inches is on fold, so that's 9 inch by 26 inches. Then we're going to cut the same out on a lining. I didn't get a blue lining, so I'm just using this black suit lining to cut out the same shape. So for the top of the cap, you can either join it, whatever method you prefer, just join it like that. Then you also cut a lining for that as well. I've not joined it, but I'm just trying to place it, then cut a lining that will be enough for it. So I'm just going to cut that out. And now I'm marking out 3/4 of an inch on one end of the Asooke. Then we're going to rule a straight line, 3/4 of an inch. Please ignore the multiple lines, just focus on the new line I am drawing. So after marking out 3/4 of an inch, we're going to mark out 3.5 inches from that new line I just made. 3.5 inches from that new line I just made, and this is where we're going to be putting the stiff, I don't know, some people might call it ad net, but you can just ask people selling it that the stiff they use in making cap for men. So I'm just going to rule the 3.5 mark and rule a straight line on it. Then we're going to cut out a stiff. I didn't show that, of 3.5 inches by the length of your Asooke, and the length I'm working with here is 26. That's with the sewing allowance. So I'm cutting 3.5 inches by 26 inches, and I'm just going to place it in the middle. So on that 3.5 inch line, we're going to fold in. That's the wrong side facing the wrong side this time around. We're going to fold in that line, then place the stiff in between like you see me do. After placing it in between, we're going to sew it down by 1/4 inch. Sew it all the way to the end by 1/4 inch, and this is what it looks like after sewing it down. You can see the stiff is in place. Then you just place the right side facing right side. You place the Asooke on the lining and you sew it down by 1/2 inch. Then remember we marked 3/4 inch, but we're just sewing it down by 1/2 inch. Then you fold them in. Make sure they align properly. I'll suggest you iron it out before you continue, but I didn't do that, but I suggest you should iron it out. Now we're going to just mark out the round edge measurement. Well, the round edge measurement I'm working with is 24 and it's on fold, so I'm marking 12 inches since it's on fold. So I'm just going to mark 12 inches all the way down and rule a straight line across it. So just measure the edge you're working with. Yours can be 23, 22, just depends. Just make sure you take the measurement and you divide it by 2 and mark it out. So I just rule a straight line, then you sew along that straight line. After sewing it, this is what it looks like. Then you're going to open up the seam, then iron it out. Please iron it out because it will lay flat. After opening up the seams, you're going to just place wrong side of the lining to the wrong side of the Asooke. Then you fold it over. Please watch the video very closely so you understand what I mean by folding it over. You're just going to carefully fold it over, then you turn it to the Asooke side. You can see that it aligned properly. After, that's why I said if you know that you're not really careful, you just have to iron it out. You can see that I aligned properly. So after folding it over, the remaining 1/4 inch, we marked out 3/4 inch and we just joined it to the lining by 1/2 inch. So the remaining 1/4 inch, you're just going to use it to fold in the lining so that it won't be coming out. So you're just going to fold the Asooke in by 1/4 inch. Then you're going to sew on the edge to make sure the Asooke is not coming out or the lining is not coming out. You're going to just sew it on the edge by 1/4 inch. So after sewing it, I also went ahead to join the lining to the Asooke at the top so that it won't be moving about. So this is just me showing you what it looks like. Now we can go ahead and cut out the excess lining. You can go ahead to cut out the excess lining. Then we'll move on to the next step. So the next step now is the top of the cap. Now we're just going to, I've gone ahead to join the top, the remaining Asooke fabric. I've gone ahead to join it. Now I'm just trying to make a round shape on it, and the circumference of the head we're working with is 24, so we're just going to measure around and make sure that the circle you just drew is up to 24 inches. So after measuring, I got about 23.5 inches. So you would notice that when I was cutting the circle out, I cut it a bit after the line so that it is a bit bigger, so it can be up to 24. Please don't do too much, just cut a bit after. But if you know that if yours is more, like if you're having more than what you want, you just cut it inward instead. Then you join the top to the main cap by 1/2 inch. If you have a weaving machine, just go ahead to weave it to avoid fraying, and if you don't have it, you can just slightly burn it with lighter. So this is what the main cap looks like. Then you can just fold it over like this. Make sure the joining is in the middle. Then you fold the excess over the joining like this. You can just go ahead to iron it and your Asooke cap is ready, or you just sew along the lines that you saw me drawing with my finger. And this is the result. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.